Welcome to Carolyn and Friends, Episode 5. In this episode, we'll see Carolyn at the beach doing her job rescuing Sims from drowning. And as you can see, she's at the beach that is in front of the resort she stayed at in the previous episode, the one that had the fire pit that she could walk across the hot coals. Another thing she's going to be doing in this episode is diving, and she's got an adventure which she got in the first episode to find Refuge Island, and that adventure has turned into a whole string of adventures. She has recently delivered 4 pieces of kelp that she had to harvest, which she learnt to dive for. She needed to go to the bottom of the ocean to harvest the kelp, and as soon as she delivered that, she got given another adventure, which is to fight a shark. So when she's finished her shift at the beach, she's going to go diving. Now when she dives, she's going to be trying to achieve at least 3 objectives. Her main objective is to fight a shark and win if she happens to come across a shark. We don't want her to lose because she could end up dead, and literally Sims can die from fighting a shark. Not sure what I'll do if that happens. Hello, there's somebody drowning. Come on, Carolyn. You need to rescue this chap, because she's got to rescue 50 Sims from drowning to get her lifetime wish. That's another thing that she's trying to achieve. Looks like he's decided he's not drowning anymore. So that one won't count towards her drowning count, drowning Sims rescues. So when she goes diving, she's also, apart from looking for a shark to fight, she wants to meet mermaids, because a mermaid might, if she's very lucky, take her to the mermaid's secret island. And that will count as one of the 5 islands that she needs to uncover. We have another drowning Sim. Business is brisk today, Carolyn. She will get better as she gets more progress in her career. At the moment, she's just wading in very slowly. But as she progresses, she gets much faster at getting into that water. So that's one she has rescued. That's one less she's still got to rescue. Another thing Carolyn needs to achieve when she goes diving is she's got to improve her diving skill, because there is another island that she can uncover, Diver's Den Island. And that island, the Sim has to have a diving skill of level 10. They've got to do a few other things as well, but she can't get the island without the level 10 in her diving skill. So we're going to be seeing quite a lot of Carolyn underwater in future episodes as she gradually improves her diving skill. Now this is that Sim who was drowning before and then changed his mind. Then he swam out and decided to have another go. At least that is 2 rescues she's got now. So she's doing well. While they stay splashing in the shallows, they're safe. Oh, she's got to do CPR on this bloke. Maybe he just went out to drown so she could rescue him and do CPR. Although they're quite capable of just dropping on the beach without the drowning bit first. CPR doesn't count towards the 50 that she's got to rescue. Bit of sunbathing. She's on duty till 6 p.m. It's Cara Dreg, the ghost. She died from drowning. Her whole family are ghosts who died from drowning. They live on a houseboat. So that's a hidden island out there that she's got to find. Oh, she's going to go diving. Good on you, Carolyn. Straight from work to some more work, where she works on her diving skill. She can only do a couple of the dive lots at the moment because her diving skill's not very high. But we'll see her progress as the episodes go along. She'll get better at diving, and when she gets to level 10, she'll get the new diving suit, the retro diving suit. But she hasn't got it yet. If she goes catching this underwater sea life, that helps her towards her diving as well. I'm not sure if she'll actually find a shark in this dive lot. She might have to be a better diver and go to one of the more dangerous lots. Hope she finds a mermaid soon. I think she's already met up with Triton King in an earlier episode, and we gave Triton King his scales, and he ended up with swimming around underwater with scaly legs. But next time we see him underwater, he'll have his tail. There's a treasure chest. Will she find some treasure in it? This coral is pretty. A lot of the treasure chests she can't open because she hasn't got a sufficiently high diving skill. There's some kelp she could harvest there. She doesn't need any more for her adventure, but she can always sell it because she needs to sell things to get her house sorted out. She wants a much bigger and nicer house than what she's already got. And there's a cave. Maybe she can go in there and see if she can find something. Maybe not. I think I've possibly got to reset that cave yet. There's an issue with the caves, the dive caves. They can end up being, assume that when they enter them, can be reset and end up at the beach. There is a mod that I have got, it's Shimrod's mod, Dive Cave Fix. But you still have to use Master Controller to reset the dive cave before the mod kicks in. But once the dive caves have been reset, then they're good to go. Looks like she's heading over to that treasure chest now. So that was worthwhile. 1,000 simoleons, a large emerald cut emerald, a large oval cut ruby, 3 silver, and a map piece. Now the map piece is good because once she's got 4 of them, she can reconstruct them and find an island. So we'll keep the map piece. The simoleons, well, she can use that. We're going to be building in this series as well because there's not a lot of room in her house, and she's going to need a lot more room than she's got. So we're going to build a little greenhouse in the yard, and then we'll build basements below the greenhouse. Speaking of greenhouses, she's finished her diving now, and she's gone to the Stone's Throw greenhouse, which I've placed in Isla Paradiso. Now she can go to this particular lot, which is a hangout that I've made it as a hangout. She can go there to pick up seeds, which is what she's doing now, and suns, which are those golden things that are all over the place. She can sell them for 100 simoleons each. I often get them to sell all of their unidentified seeds as well, because that earns money fairly quickly. And she's going to also pick wildflowers and collect any small pets, that minor pets that she finds, such as that bird. And as soon as she collects them, she'll sell the birds, the suns, any other minor pets, and possibly some of the seeds. Other seeds she'll be planting in her garden, which she hasn't started yet. But we'll have the garden in the greenhouse that she builds on her lot, but that'll only be a very small greenhouse. It's mainly there to hide the entrance to her basement, because I'm not going to put the entrance to her basement inside her tiny house. I'll just be a bit different and give her a doorway or steps going down from in the middle of the greenhouse we built for her. I've actually amended this lot. I placed the Stone's Throw greenhouse in just about every game that I play, but I add things from another venue that I got from the Sims 3 store as well, which is the alfresco market venue. I rarely place it, but I do sometimes because I've changed it as well. Yeah, I find you've got to actually change the lots that come in the venues from the store, because they only put base game items plus the items that are new with that venue, and often that needs a bit more. For example, that Witching Ride Spring Rider in the front there, that's a store item, and there's a little lizard running around in circles next to it. She'll catch that later. I put a couple of spring riders in there for anyone comes with toddlers, or children I think can ride them as well. His Humble Harvest stands came with the alfresco market venue, and they're great for buying things if you really need something rare and you haven't been able to find it elsewhere. The problem with buying from the alfresco market stands or the Humble Harvest stands is your sim gets a negative moodlet for being ripped off. The best thing about having those stands is when your sim has a garden, they can consign their produce to those Humble Harvest stands, and they get enormous payments for their produce they sell there, which makes them very much well worth their while. I've also got a lemonade stand out the front which came from the alfresco market venue, and that is for children. They can sell lemonade or give psychiatric advice to visiting sims. There's a death flower there on the left hand side of the screen. Sometimes you find them at the greenhouse venue, not often, but often enough to make it worthwhile to come here. But I wouldn't make a special trip in the hope of finding a death flower, because they're not that common. And she'll need some death flowers in her inventory if she's going to be going fighting sharks, because if she gets killed fighting the shark or dies in any other way in the game, when the Grim Reaper shows up she can beg for her life and offer him a death flower, and he will often take the flower because he finds them irresistible. And when he takes the flower, then he leaves the sim with their life. So it's actually, the death flower is a potential free life. So now she's gone over to the Humble Harvest stand and she's manning it herself. Something I never get my sims to do autonomously. I mean, they do it autonomously, but I don't ever ask them to do it because I can't see the point. They just stand there in the sun and get hot. Sometimes they might chat to a townie if a townie comes up there to buy something, but there's no benefit that I know of for sims to stand there and man the Humble Harvest stands. So I usually leave that as a job for the townies to do whenever they feel like it. I don't usually get my own sims to man the lemonade stand, but you can if you want to. The adults or young adults can stock the lemonade stand with lemons or whatever else they choose. And I've sometimes, not often, I have seen townie children go up there and autonomously man it as well. You can see that Spring Rider. That Spring Rider is actually only available in a compilation now. You can't buy it separately. It was originally in one of those free packs. Carolyn doesn't have a garden yet at home, so she's harvesting produce at the greenhouse lot, where she's been collecting seeds. Once she's collected enough produce, she can do one of two things. Or she can do a few things with it. She could take it home and plant it in her own garden, or she could take it home and eat it, or she could, at the greenhouse, if you've placed the humble harvest stands like I have, she could consign that produce for sale and get herself some income from it when Sims come and buy it. So there's a little tortoise running around in circles there she'll probably catch, and some seeds and another death flower. She's doing well today with the death flowers, but she could need them. She's going to be fighting a shark. Might eat her. We don't want her to die on us permanently. While she has a death flower in her inventory, if the Grim Reaper comes for her, she can trade him a death flower for her life. That'll be another free life for her. With this game, you can have as many free lives as you want, as long as you can find the death flowers. If you've never seen a death flower up close, there it is. Interesting little skull there, all surrounded by petals. So she's off home. It's time to go and do something at home. There's that resort tower just behind the tree on the left. That's where she stayed when she walked on that fire, the burning coals. Just a few little bit scenes around Island Paradise, or Isla Paradiso. And she's home. Now the mailbox has got sparkles on it, and that means somebody has sent me a present. You only get those sparkles when you're logged in and somebody sent you a gift. And I've managed to receive a couple of nice things from one of my friends, and now Carolyn has gained from that. She's got a couple of extra goodies in her house that she didn't have to go and pay for. But here she is now doing her cardio workout in front of the TV. All of this is helping her athletic skill build up. The more athletic skills she builds, the quicker she will advance in her career, and the easier it will be for her to rescue Sims from drowning. It's an interesting effect on those shoes there. It looks like she's got high heels on. So we're diving and we've found Mia Azul, and she's got no scales, so I've gone into Master Controller to remove her mermaid occult state and then replace it back on her again. I've paused the game at this point, but I'm just showing you me doing it. You take away the occult state and then you add it back, and when you do that, they get scales on their legs. So her scales will appear. There they are. And next time she goes out of the water, she'll still have scaly legs, but when she jumps back in again to go for another dive, she'll get her tail. So that's two mermaids now that Carolyn has met while diving. She met Triton King in the previous episode, and in this episode she's met Mia Azul. There are 4 towny mermaids that they could meet. My Sims often meets Salty Seaworth. I've got him in my Isla Paradiso game as he is the father of the twins that Hayley had. But we haven't met Salty in this game yet. And then there's Maya Ocean. My Sims almost never get to meet her. So getting to know Mia Azul, having a conversation underwater. Hopefully one of these friendly mermaids will give her mermaid secret island shortly. Might just leave them there having a chat. Now Carolyn has gone off to search for underwater life, undersea life, to catch after she had quite a long conversation with Mir Azul. I didn't show you all of it because they just sat there in the water and talked in the same spot for about 5 minutes. That would have got a little bit boring to sit and watch. Oh, there's another treasure chest. Hopefully she will be able to open it. There's a conch shell there too, or a nautilus shell, I think it is. They can use a conch shell to signal a mermaid, but I don't think they actually have had to find one. I think it's just part of the animation. But that's a nautilus shell there. Oh, she's still talking to Mir Azul. And we're waiting at the treasure chest for her to come and open it. There she is. It's getting very close to the end of this video too, so I hope you've enjoyed it. So what's she got? 1,500 simoleons, 3 large gold ingots, and 2 conch shells. So that should help her add to her household funds. I've had a lot of trouble with this video, with dogs. Unplugged the monitor, unplugged my microphone. It's taken me days to actually record it, so sorry for the big delay. It also, the actual software I was recording it on crashed at one point. So I sort of kept putting it off after those things happened. Each thing happened on a different day when I was trying to do the recording. So she's going home now, and she's just going to go and have a sleep and do whatever she does at home. And I will see you in the next video, which she will have had further advanced in her career and getting closer to finding the extra islands. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye bye for now.